Hi, I know it's been hasn't been too long since I last made a video, but my mind has been very active, and I'm trying to think of new video ideas. And just the response I got from my last video, all the comments that YouTubers left, really touched me. And although my channel, the description in my channel is still based on, me describing. Um, Me as a person with Asperger's syndrome, I decided to, I guess, personalize it a little bit, and maybe I will talk about some of the LGBT related things, at least for a while. Um, I don't know. I found it very therapeutic for me, and if you guys seem to like it, then why not do it, right? So I've been thinking about what topic I'm going to be discussing, and the one that pops into my mind the most is why did it take me such a long time to come out of the closet? I mean, I'm 23 now, and why did I only come out of the closet when I was basically 23? This was a couple. This was no, sorry, I came out of the closet when I was 22. This was last year then. Um, so it's been about a half a year. I came out last August to my family. So why has it taken 22 years for me to come out of the closet? What were some of the influences on me? What went through my mind? How did external pressures influence me? Um, and I'm surprised by this because as I say in a lot of other videos that I was very unique, and I was very proud of being unique when I was a kid. I was very proud to say no to sports, very proud to say to be interested in some scientific subject, and and talk about it for hours on end. I always strive to be different. I strive to go against the norm always. So how come that didn't apply when it comes to sexuality? How come that was so deeply ingrained in me saying no, I'm not proud, or I'm not going to reveal that for a while. And I think it comes down to family related pressures for me, and some societal pressures, but specifically the interplay between societal pressures and family-related pressures. So I was first introduced to the concept of homosexuality in a very bad way. I think most people are. It's in the news, and it's, at least back then, it wasn't painted in the most ideal light. So I was first introduced to it, unfortunately, with South Park's character Big Gay Al, and this character is not on South Park anymore. I think for obvious reasons, the writers have probably smartened up. Although I think Mr. Garrison supposedly is in the closet because he has like the earring on his right ear. But anyway, so I was first introduced to homosexuality with the character Big Gay Al, and I was watching this when I was probably 6 years old with my brother beside me, and his response, obviously, to the portrayal of this just stereotypical effeminate man called Big Gay Al on South Park, his first response was to laugh. So my first response, was to laugh as well. So it became a laughing matter. And, for days after, I would often, start imitating Big Gay Al and to get laughs and stuff like that. And then my parents, heard that, oh, I know what this character is, I know what the concept is, and I don't, they didn't say, they didn't stop me from laughing at it. They didn't encourage me, but they didn't stop me. And anyway, so this one went on for years, and until, well, not making fun of it, but that was my first exposure, and this went on for years until maybe 11 or 12. My family started asking me, who do you have a crush on? Which are you starting to get interested in girls yet? And at this point, I started thinking about, well, in my mind, it should be that homosexuality should be the norm. I mean, like, if I were to really remove all the layers of, just me trying to grain this in, or me trying to hide this up, I thought that no, I actually do. I would want to be with a guy in the future. Like that seemed very appropriate. Like that was that's just what stuck with me. But of course, when my brother and I think my aunt was there, asked, "Are you interested in girls yet?" And I said, "I say no," and they're like, "Oh, are you interested in guys?" And I say, "No, of course not." So so that was like the first time it ever came into question. I kept on waiting to be interested in girls. Like I kept on waiting. When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? And it never happened. And meanwhile, all my other peers are started talking about girls and stuff like that, and then I got frustrated. And so my response was anger. It wasn't hiding. It was anger that why are they now talking about this stuff while we had fun playing tag and stuff. I missed the small games. I missed being a kid. This seemed like it's almost like they were being influenced by some external factor that wasn't affecting me, and I didn't understand why they needed to change all of a sudden. So I got really really angry, and basically the problem became complex. It became not so easy to explain. I needed to start thinking of alibis on how to explain off my behavior. Um, I didn't want to be labeled as gay. Although the thing is, I know a lot of people, um, when they're in the closet, or this didn't happen to me, but some people become homophobic as a kind of I forget what the term is, some mental response to basically hide their own homosexuality. This never happened to me. I wasn't going to go out of my way to bash homosexuality because I was a homosexual. I didn't particularly think highly of the parades. I didn't know back then why you would really need to parade about a sexual orientation, but I never had a period of hatred for homosexuals. Like that just didn't enter the picture because I knew deep down that I was one, and I thought it just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to dislike your own kind, basically. Although I never admitted it that it was my own kind, it just wasn't in my character to ever hate on any group, really. Um, so yeah, so I need to think of some alibi to explain my behavior, and one conveniently, showed itself in the wait time. The wait time is basically me just saying, no, I wasn't interested in girls, no, and I wasn't interested in guys. My friend, very conveniently in high school, suggested that I might be asexual. There, bam, I had an alibi now. That now I could, take for years and years. And it was my alibi up till a couple months ago. But yeah, I was just thinking. My family had always they'd always accepted my interests. My family's very very accepting in certain things, and then they actually they promote like they promoted my uniqueness. They were excited about it with me. Like I got them excited in the subjects I was excited with. Um, so they were very very supportive on one end, on the unique end and the Asperger's end. Indirectly, they didn't know what was going on. They just my dad knew his mind worked in similar ways as mine. To be honest, I think my dad has a lot of autistic traits, so I feel like he saw himself in me and he wanted to promote that, and so he was proud of all the cool stuff I was learning, and my appetite for knowledge and just information when I was a kid. But with the homosexuality, they were a little less so. I think the average person isn't that accepting unless they have a family member, unless they have someone close to them that can kind of defy the stereotype. My parents didn't really have anything like that. Like my dad's first cousin is gay, but I don't think he's close enough with him to have that majorly influence his views that he's gathered over the years, or his mental image of what a homosexual is. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm just kind of blabbering on. I wanted. I felt like my coming out video wasn't all that clear. I was really nitpicking so many tiny little stories from here and there and talking. I mean, it's what I wanted to do, but I want to take a little more, like, I have an analytical approach to all this. And another thing that also kept me in the closet for years too. This was, when I already started saying, well, am I gay? Was that the fact that I didn't fit the stereotype? At least I didn't think I did. In my mind, Big Gay Al was the image of a gay guy, right? So I wasn't like that at all. I didn't have the inflection. I didn't have the way of talking, the way of moving, and so I said, that's not me. That's not me, right? But stereotypes are exactly that. It's a stereotype. I mean, it's a ridiculous face for although that inflection, people, some gay guys do have that inflection, which is fine. But that was, for me, it was another reason to exclude me from the group, just because I didn't meet that criteria. So I feel like all these factors interplayed and made me come out rather late. Although I was speaking to my therapist, and he says it's actually kind of normal for people to come out in their 20s, early to mid 20s. But he says that was for a while ago. Now people are coming out even earlier. It's great. I mean, it's more accepted. So people are still coming. People come out in high school. Suffice to say, there's still people in the closet who come out much later than I did, and I'm glad that it came out as soon as I did. Really, I mean, the time was perfect for me. And until you reach that point, I feel like it's kind of difficult. Even with all the positive influences there are out there now. I mean, YouTube is a huge influence on people who are still in the closet, if they summon up the courage to actually go on and search up videos related to it. Anyway, now I'm just blabbering on. Anyway, I want to thank everyone out there for their replies for the first video. It's so touching. It changes me. It really does. To be accepted. That's basically all I can say. Thank you guys very much. Take care.